And my first question to you would be, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, Stemco, as well as your role at Stemco.
Of course. So Stemco is a manufacturer. We manufacture heavy duty component parts for large truck and trailer. So the big semi trucks, 18 wheelers across the road, mostly wheel end suspension parts, things of that nature. We are based in East Texas, which is where I am. Originally from the Midwest though, Michigan. So moved down here about 8 years ago when I started working with rebates. And I've been working with rebates and different sales analytics for that long. And before that, I worked with Stemco for a couple years in working with customers one-on-one, order entry, different manufacturing type issues. So I've been with the company for going on 10 years now.
Geez, 10 years, that's a long time. That's a decade.
I know, don't remind me. That's not very nice, Reggie.
See how I did the math though? Decade, 10. Okay, got it. No, but listen, that's a testament to who you are as a person, loyalty to a company, but the mere fact that you have absorbed all of this experience within the rebate space. So that's a huge accomplishment for you. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
So what would you say are the key elements of a successful collaboration?
So I think one of the key elements is alignment. You both got to know, between the manufacturer, the distributor, the buying group, just whoever it is, you have to know what the goals are, and you have to be aligned on, and they don't have to be the same goal, but you have to be aware of what the other person's trying to achieve and what yourself is trying to achieve. That way that whatever programming you're collaborating on is beneficial for both. If it's not beneficial, you don't work towards it. You don't want to accomplish that goal. So I think that that's one of the key things.
I love what you said there, like that key word to me that I've taken away, and I hope everybody that's tuning in took away the same word, which is alignment. And I think that's critical to success, as you nailed it, Colleen. When you have that alignment at the beginning of that relationship, that kind of sets the tone and the stage in terms of the longevity of where the relationship could go, because you guys are both moving in the same direction. So no, I love that answer. So appreciate that.
Yeah, it's definitely important. And it's important to, have regular meetings and conversations and make sure that you're both still on the same path. Things do change. We have long programs, and you want to make sure that over the course of time that the alignment remains the same, that you still have similar goals or are aware of the goals and are flexible in the program to make sure those adjustments.
Yeah, no, so that's another key point, right? It's sustaining that communication channel, because as you mentioned, things do change, and when they do, well, how do we communicate those changes so that we still maintain that mutual benefit for the both of us, right? Because you have to work at it, right? Things are going to change. It could be variability, volatility, especially when it comes to pricing and so forth, or other terms that you may require based on changes of goals or objectives. So that's critical. Thank you.
Yeah.
Could you walk us through your current operations and how you collaborate with your trading partners?
Sure. So we're a B2B, which means we're working with distributors primarily to sell our products to end users. So when we have trading program partners in the Enable platform, they're actually on both levels. So we have programs that are both with our distributors, but we also have programs with our end users. So we consider both of them to be trading partners in the platform and have different programs depending on our aligned goals for each one.
Cool. Yeah, no, because obviously each person within that value chain, like you said, might have different goals. So I'm glad that you brought that up in terms of how the current modes of operations work. And I'm thinking a lot of people probably, tuning in probably have that same similar setup when it comes to their operations. Now, what are the benefits of collaborating with your trading partners?
So for us, there's a lot of different benefits, but some of them are, building relationships, building loyalty. A lot of our programs aren't just about the rebate money in the end. There's a lot of other facets about it. whether it's different perks of trading, training, different clinics, certifications, different things that are unique to our industry. But those type of similar things are in every industry. It's just unique to each one. So loyalty, we have a product, a very premium product. So having loyal customers that want to use our product is great. We're talking different types of customers. Some of them are looking at sales, so actual revenue. Others are looking at different type of value. And that's kind of where that building relationships and knowing what their goals are and what they need to succeed, and using that to create a collaborative program between both parties.
Cool. No, again, you're just dropping so many nuggets here. Like the loyalty piece is one that really stands out to me. And again, people tuning in probably feel the same, right? When you think about a long-lasting relationship, it's always going to be based on loyalty. So if you have the opportunity to collaborate and do it frequently or set up a cadence of engagement, that will take, that paves the way for longevity.
Yes, very much so.
So for any business such as yours, what are some of the key challenges when working with multiple trading partners?
If you're doing rebate programs for multiple trading partners with multiple goals, multiple alignments, each program is unique, right? There might be a base, standard, but there's nuances. So being aware of all of those little differences for each one, for one person, because most people don't have a bunch of people that run the rebate program. They have one person. So knowing all of those little nuances and is a huge challenge. I think I noted down here tribal knowledge, and I think it's the old joke of, if I were to win the lottery tomorrow, would anybody know what was going on? And Enable is great because all of that information is in one place. So all of the programs, all of the calculations, all of that is in there. I can take a vacation. It's great. One of the other challenges is, so for us, a lot of our programs involve a lot of data, a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of communication from us to the trading partners. So there's just a ton of emails, a ton of Excel files. There's lots of variance in that data, which makes it then more difficult to work with and create insightful, impactful reporting. So those are all kind of the big ball of challenges that a lot of companies face with rebates.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up tribal knowledge and the fact you talked about, and you made this example. If someone won the lottery, like if I won the lottery, I know what I'm doing.
Right. It's probably not going to work tomorrow, right?
Exactly. I'll be on the beach somewhere. So the succession planning is critical. But it's, as you mentioned, it's great that Stemco is working with Enable because we can maintain that continuity in the event, let's say you have to go on vacation or you're going to be winning the lottery. So
right.
that's
I'm always thinking positive here.
Well, you know what? I may go play the lottery today, just because of you.
Well, you let me know. If I don't hear from you in a week, I know what happened.
Such is life, right? Such is life. Life has to go on. So, what prompted the desire from Stemco to solve these challenges and adopt a collaboration tool such as Enable?
So for us, one of the biggest challenges was dealing with the data. There's so much information, and we knew that the information was valuable, but it wasn't in a format where we could quickly get insightful data out of it. And we needed to be able to make decisions quickly and informed. And our current Excel process just didn't allow that. So having Enable, having the collaborator portal, it allows us to bring all that information together and create real-time reporting. And that was something that we needed.
Yeah, and even you mentioned earlier too, it's like managing multiple spreadsheets. You're mentioning speed, right, which is to align with the ever-changing environment that happens within today's workforce. And then you mentioned about making informed decisions. So a lot of companies, just like Stemco, are leveraging technology to help speed up that process, to create a more automated sequence so that, like you said, can make more informed decisions quickly. So
Mhm.
it's a so we've written about you in particular, Colin, because you are a fan favorite of ours, and you've articulated your story many times in terms of how Stemco has saved money by identifying overpayments. But what other benefits have you discovered from using a collaborative platform such as Enable?
So, you mentioned reducing the risk of overpayment, and that's one of the big things, and I think that's the final goal, but there's multiple ways that it does that. You know, we're making sure that our programs change regularly, right? It's the same program, but little things change, with the market, price increases, adjustments like that. And having the Enable portal, it always makes sure that the current program is what's being used to do the calculations. So previously, when we would send out, here's the new program on Excel, if you didn't catch that they used the previous one, because they look the same, right? Then those little changes and stuff didn't get adjusted, so the payment is not quite exact. So making sure that it's always the current program for the right time period, and then all of those little program details, just those little nuances that are different between each trading partner and each customer. It just keeps track of all of that, so you don't have to remember absolutely every single thing. The system is going to do that for you.
And that's the magic behind it, right? It's taking the second guessing out of it in terms of having those updated programs or files and so forth, as you mentioned. So no, that's very interesting.
Yeah, especially, we've got data coming in that's a couple thousand lines in an Excel file. You're going to skim it, right? You're going to look through it and you might find anything that looks obvious, but you can't look at 1,000 lines. You just can't.
No,
it's not
because
a,
it's such an eyesore, right?
yeah. So that's some of the ways that it's really helping reduce that risk of overpayment for us.
No, I love that. Thank you. Had you considered cloud-based collaboration platforms in the past? And if yes, how has your experience been using them?
So Enable was the first rebate software we brought in. Um, so we really hadn't looked at too much historically. So prior to that, we just used a lot of email and a lot of Excel files, right? A lot of complex formulas that if you touched it and broke it, you were in very much trouble. So this was kind of our first platform, and it's been working great for us.
Awesome, awesome. And how do partner Fed transactions allow you to accurately identify rebate monies owed?
So we use we call it the collaborator portal, but it's that collaborator free feature and Enable, and it allows our distributors to upload their transactions. So a lot of our programs are a SPA of sorts, a special pricing agreement, where they need to upload their transactions in order to earn the rebate. So they're feeding us that information that historically would have been, a couple email chains and Excel files and all of that kind of stuff in just one quick upload. Um, and so we're using that data to, validate against the program, and it calculates everything. So really that is the calculation, right? They're uploading the transactions, it's pinging against the program, and everything has been working great. It just, here's the rebate amount owed, and they get to see that and we get to see it. So it's great.
Yeah, what's funny? Like I had the pleasure of going to do a customer visit out in the UK, and I met up with a customer from MKM, and he showed me, like you mentioned, spas, what it looked like on his end because he didn't have a platform, doing all the calculations for special pricing agreements, and he literally pulled out a Bible. Sorry, not even a Bible. What am I saying? A binder, okay, which was essentially his his Bible to all the transactions associated with his special pricing agreements. And all you saw were, and you mentioned, remember, 1,000 lines before, and this was just on pieces of paper within that binder. And I'm like, this is how you manage your special pricing agreements? He's like, yes, it's extremely tedious. And, we want to leverage, the SPA application that you guys are building because it's going to help simplify and automate the entire sequence and process. So as you mentioned, that transparency, visibility, looking at what's owed to you is critical to managing your bottom line, right?
Right. Yeah. So, there's a section in the collaborator portal, the estimated earnings, which the customer can log in and see exactly what they submitted and what the rebate amount is. So, and it's in all of our reporting on our side, to get it all paid out. So it allows them that transparency to see, okay, I submitted X and I'm going to receive a check or a credit or payment, however it is, for Y, and they can look for that. They know it's coming. They can put it in their books for accounting purposes. So that's very visible for them. We want them to know what they're going to get paid. We do, because if the program's beneficial to both, it's a good thing. So.
Yes, and it ties into what you said earlier, right? Like when it comes to the benefits of collaboration, it's about maintaining that loyalty and trust and ensuring that you have a strong relationship long term. So speaking of transparency, how do you ensure there's complete transparency and visibility on rebate earnings with your trading partners?
So I kind of mentioned that there's an estimated earnings section in the, it's a log of sorts in the collaborator feature that allows the customer to see, what they submitted, the file they submitted, and the estimated earnings for that file. So that's one way where, as soon as it's approved in the system, that populates. The other way that we want them to be aware of what the program is. We want them to know exactly what the program is, what they're able to earn on it, what parts qualify, what parts don't qualify. And all of those programs are accessible for them in that portal. So they can log in and they can see the current program. They can print off the PDF, version of it and keep that for their notes. So they know exactly what the program is. And when they submit things, they know exactly what they're going to get paid. So.
And what was fascinating about your response there is that you pretty much described like the before and the after, right? So like before, just kind of going back to some of the elements of our conversation where a lot of the deals and transactions you're managing through email, through spreadsheets. But now with this portal, it's like a one-stop shop approach to getting everything that you need at your fingertips.
Which is
right?
great, because previously they would have emailed their sales rep, who would have looked through his files and maybe found the program, or maybe emailed me and said, hey, I want to make sure I send him the right one, which is it? So you've got them emailing somebody who then is emailing somebody, and then it's going back. And, 48, 36 hours, few days to get an answer that they probably needed right then and there to make their decision. So now they can log in and access all of that information right there at the tips of their fingers.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, cool. What value does the collaborator platform bring your business? And I know you've talked about like some of the benefits, again, what collaboration has done when you think about building loyalty, building trust, and so forth. But what has it done for Stemco?
So I think we go back to all of the things that I've talked about. The collaborator platform is key to our rebate process this year, really. We have a lot of trading partners that are submitting their transactions monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, annual, however it might be. And for them to quickly be able to import it imports in a file that can be reported on. They have their information specifically about what they're getting paid very quickly. Just the timing of all of that information available to them, I think, is key for our collaborators, for our trading partners. And for us, I think I counted the emails associated when we did it manually, and I think each one could have up to 6 emails.
Really?
Right? I mean, that's huge. That's a ton of emails. We all get enough emails. We don't need any more.
But that's your point. It's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. And this is just so much more streamlined, so much more simple. And the collaborator portal really is efficient. It's intuitive for most of our trading partners. So it's been really great for them and for us.
Well, and what, like, that's my follow-up question to that, which you pretty much answered was like, because you've given us a great rundown in terms of the benefits and value that Collaborator has done for Stemco, but then you kind of mentioned, your partners, because this is a two-way street in terms
Right.
of the dynamics of a relationship. Can you go a little bit further into, let's say, your partner's feedback for using the platform?
So it, usually most of the partners have bought into it and understand how to use the platform within 1 to 2 training sessions. And those are like what, 15 minutes where I walk them through on a screen share and just show them. It's really simple. Like I mentioned, it's intuitive, it's easy to use. Um, I even had someone comment that they've done, similar platforms, whether it was purchasing or different types of uploads, and they said this is so much easier than other ones, which was great to hear. So, but yeah, so just taking the time and walking them through each one at a time. Most of them are very receptive. They think it's very simple, and after 1 or 2 go rounds, they're good to go.
So you're pretty much like creating like a eureka moment whenever you do that screen share to actually show them how the platform actually works, because they're probably like, wow, okay, cool. We've
Yeah.
now moved into the future in terms of how rebates are going to be managed.
Yeah, and I mean, really, if the training session that I do with them is usually 15, 20 minutes.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's a really short to know and understand how to do something. And, half of that is just, talking and conversating and, getting to know each other. So, I mean, really, I can walk someone through it generally within 10, 15 minutes, and they have a pretty good understanding of how it works and how to function. So it's easy to use.
Awesome, good to hear. So how would you enhance our collaboration tool? Like you've talked about all the great things that it has, but what are some of like, essential features that you would like us to build in the future, or you'd like to see?
I love this question. I love this question. I love
Give it
talking
to us,
about,
give it to
you
us.
know,
Don't hold back.
next steps and where I would like to see it go. And I've been looking at, I think it's the partner dashboard that they've built to kind of go alongside the collaborator tool. And it has some great features, but one of the things that I think it's kind of lacking is some more payment information, right? So we have the rebate estimated earnings in the platform already, but what we don't show is if it was actually paid, because there's a difference of here's the calculation and here's the actual check information. So knowing it was actually paid and the payment details behind that, I think would be a great next step of that's more information that that customer needs to know. And that's a lot of the emails I'm receiving currently is, hey, what's the check number? Can you get me a copy of this? XYZ. So I think that's one of the ones that I would say would be a great opportunity to add to that partner dashboard information.